So in this segment, we're going to be discussing voters' views on nationalisation of the railways. We're going to do. There's a lot more of these kind of audience kind of questions going to come up because there'll be a lot more kind of pushing towards the general election, and I think these are quite interesting.
That was Rishi Sunak there. So Rishi Sunak, if I say Rishi Sunak, or you've got something to say about Rishi Sunak, what word comes into your head?
He's the first person that I've heard in a long, long time in politics that has come up with specific policies to be measured and for him to be trusted on his action. And there lies the problem in the British politics. There's not many people who'll do that. They'll all talk narrative, and that narrative is not measurable. You heard Keir Starmer. What one thing did he say he's going to do? What one thing?
Okay, we're missing some context there, clearly. He's talking about Sunak's 5 pledges. I mean, to be fair, I think they were measurable, like stopping the boats and stuff like that. I guess you could... There's a reason why politicians don't do it, so then when they don't achieve their goals, you can't accuse them of failure. So I kind of get the guy's point.
Did he say he was going to deliver that he could be measured on? Not one. At least Rishi gave you 5 things that he said he was going to do.
And he failed, I think, all 5 of them, I believe.
Whether he's done them or not, another matter. But at least he said... this is what he's going to do and measure him on.
Well, let's take you to that, Melanie, shall we? Because, you know, it's the fair point, isn't it? He's, you know, yes, we can criticise Rishi Sunak for not meeting those 5 pledges, but at least he's given us something to measure him on.
Well, just today we've had a massive announcement on rail, so, you know, bring rail back into national ownership. You know, that will be a test of the first Parliament, making sure that, you know, connectivity...
That's what Conservatives are already doing.
You're doing it by default and not doing it to...
That's I mean Labour's pledges, I think, to bring all trains into nationalise all railways, I think, or something like that. I don't know the exact terminology, but, you know, the argument the Conservatives are doing it, yes, because they're being forced to, because these companies are really, really hated, or they're just saying, oh, we can't run the service, we're going to go bankrupt. So, you know, the argument of the Conservatives are already doing it is complete nonsense. And if it's the case that the Conservatives are already doing it, cool, don't argue against the policy then. I don't want to hear nothing about no socialism, nothing like that.
No, that's not priority for people.
The country.
I think in terms of connectivity, in terms of being able to devolve that to local people.
It literally will. Nationalisation will make the man in the streets life better, because chances are at some point in that person's life, they will probably take a train somewhere, and it won't be trash. It won't be as late, hopefully. It won't be as overcrowded. So that's a complete garbage answer. How will stopping the boats improve the lives of the man on the street? Honestly, what a stupid guy.
The man in the street, what's going to make his life better? The man and woman in the street. Nationalising Network Rail ain't going to change a jot. All right?
I'd say it's really
irrelevant
popular in the country. It's a really bold policy.
Oh, yes, stopping the boats, going to help the man on the street. Great policy, whatever. But, you know, nationalising the trains, no, it's not going to help the man on the street. What a clown.
I don't think... Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that. I accept your point.
How is it going to change my life, nationalising Network?
Well, I think that it means that the government can then pass that responsibilities and opportunities down to local devolved authorities. It means that there's much more passenger choice. It means that there's doing the routes that actually help local people get to work, get to school, travel, explore the country.
The Labour government can meddle. That's what it means, and it means that the rail unions who've been trying to cause problems.
The rail unions have been trying to get their workers fair pay and not get made redundant. Who this woman is? Bruh.
With strikes for the last 2 years, will have control of the country. I'm old enough to remember what that means. I remember British Rail in the 70s.
I am not old enough to know what that means, so if any of the audience members are old enough to know about British Rail, please inform me.
Early 80s.
Because I can tell you the system is trash now, absolute trash. And the only people celebrating are the ones who are running the service because they're getting paid out for doing absolutely nothing. This is what these guys are doing. So, honestly.
It was not great. And that is not what we want to see again.
Smoking the taxpayer pack.
No, when I think about when I was at school and the trains that I used to go on that were government-run, they were dirty, they were slow, they were...
The ones now aren't the cleanest. The ones now are slow.
Late.
The ones now are late. They are late.
Nobody was helpful. Now you can get on a modern train, get to Doncaster, get down to London. By December, we should have our direct rail back here to Cleethorpes. It's cleaner. You know, it's a totally different experience.
That's why the private systems are so hated, because apparently they are so much better. Why does everyone hate on them then?
It's what it was when we had a Labour government.
Let's get a bit of a sense then. If you're in favour of rail nationalisation, put your hand up. If you're in favour of nationalising the rails. And if you're not in favour of it, I was pretty split.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the things where Labour are going to have to explain how the service can be better. And that's where hopefully they do a good job of that. I genuinely hope they do a good job and they don't just drop the policy. But then again, can they drop the policy when they put so much political capital behind it? I don't know. But this is going to be a real test of them being able to argue, to make their case and actually argue it properly of how they're going to improve a service. Because, you know, they can't just drop it and say because of the cost or whatever. Because, you know, they're arguing it's not going to cost much to do it. So hopefully they can argue it, because I can't lie, if they drop this one, it will hurt.
Stings, doesn't it?
Yeah. So hopefully they do a good job. They can actually argue their case, and that's something we're going to have to see more of. I think it's Louise Hay is the person running the show on nationalising the railway, and she's pretty front and centre of it. So hopefully she does a good job, and you know the leadership actually gives us space to make the case for it. Because if they drop it, I think it'll be indefensible. But if they do drop it,
I'm not surprised.
I won't be surprised. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Support the channel on Patreon if you can. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.